What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel. Today we're here for a new episode of our Madden Retro Rebuilds. We restarted Madden 12. We go a full decade up to current day Madden 22. We try to make a team into a dynasty. The last episode was the Miami Dolphins. Things got pretty crazy. We absolutely built a super team. So I thought about giving us a little bit more of a challenge here to one of the top requested teams, and that is the Buffalo Bills. Now, I apologize ahead of time. I am a little bit sick. I am recording this on Father's. That's how much I'm enjoying this series. I'm sick. It's Father's Day, and I'm like, let's record a little bit of this before everyone wakes up and celebrates me being me. And also, shout out to all the dads out there. I think this is probably coming out Monday, so I hope everyone had a great Father's Day. This is our Buffalo Bills team, and it's an interesting team. We got Ryan Fitzpatrick. Literally, I think, Ryan Fitzpatrick got like $1 trillion deal from Buffalo at one point. It didn't work out, but there was a point that people thought he was a legitimate franchise quarterback. Now, for the sake of this rebuild, he is 28, and that rating's not going to hold particularly well. So I'm kind of viewing this as like we got 3 years of Fitz magic here. Also, probably should be looking for a quarterback. In terms of the rest of the offense, I mean, there's some guys there, especially if you're a Bills fan, you'll recognize some of these names. We got the veteran Fred Jackson at running back. He's solid, 80 at 30 years old. The guy that I'm a little bit more interested in, because the big thing about this series is trying to catch on players that might not necessarily have the greatest careers, do it, off the field or injuries like that. CJ Spiller, when he was coming to Clemson, this guy was a freak of nature. One of the fastest, most electrifying players. So what we are going to do is hopefully eventually have CJ Spiller emerge as a franchise running back here for the Buffalo Bills. But at least in year one, he's going to be RB2 behind the great Fred Jackson. At wide receiver, again, some notable names: David Nelson, Roscoe Parrish, great deep ball wide receiver. Brandon Smith, who was kind of like a quarterback gadget. But the best wide receiver I have on this roster is Stevie Johnson. He was always pretty reliable. Had a couple massive seasons. I guess you could say inconsistent as well, but he's our best skill position player as an 86 star dev at only 25. On the offensive line, a couple guys, but led by Andy Levitre and Eric Wood, both very, very good NFL offensive linemen. But as you can also see on the offense, a lot of holes that we're going to have to fill throughout the draft, which is always, that's what makes it fun. Not, when we did the Dolphins rebuild on the weekend, we had to figure out the quarterback spot, but generally that roster was very good. A lot more work needs to be done here for the Buffalo Bills. Look at our linebackers, just veterans. Kirk Morrison on the wrong side of 30, Andre Davis, wrong side of 30. We got Nick Barnett, our best linebacker. He's 30 on the spot. So, there's just a lot of regression going to be happening here at that linebacker spot. Same kind of goes at pass rush. We have Chris Kelsey and Sean Merriman. This is like post-steroid Sean Merriman, where he's regressed down to an 81 and it's only going downhill from here. And little known fact, Sean Merriman, one of my favorite. If I'm making an all-time C4 Madden team in history, Sean Merriman's one of the first names there at pass rusher when he was on the Chargers. But when he went to the Bills, it was a little less than ideal. But now we're talking about two players that were very good. An all-legend here in Kyle Williams, who's an 84 superstar. He's 28, so he's not going to be here for a whole lot, but we're going to definitely enjoy it while he is in his prime. We got Marcell Dareus in his rookie season. I don't really know what the opinion is of Marcell Dareus from Buffalo Bills fans. I feel like they're probably slight bust just because never really reached the potential and lived up to the total hype, but he was a good player in Buffalo. Maybe a shorter peak than people would have expected, but I think he's going to be a good player in this rebuild. Secondary, kind of more of the same. Terrence McGee was great, but on the wrong side of 30 for sure. Got Williams there, Drayton Florence, Leotis McKelvin's best guy in the room, 79 star dev at only 25. But the strength of this team got to be the secondary, man. We got Dante Hittner, 84 star dev, 26. And then we need to look at Jairus Byrd, who in 5 years, 5 seasons with the Bills, 22 interceptions, 9 picks as a rookie, absolute ball hawk. He is going to be probably one of the pillars of this defense. I know they eventually lost him in free agency. Things never worked out. He probably never should have left Buffalo. It's probably a regret of his life. Special teams get Lindell. We got Brian Moorman, who's always kind of like a fun trope, especially if you didn't play Madden back in the day, because Brian Moorman always had 90 speed, which is cool. He got 89 speed, 87 acceleration. Obviously, he also is known for getting absolutely rocked by Sean Taylor during the Pro Bowl. But either way, man, this is going to be a pretty fun rebuild. I hope a lot of people are hyped for it because, it's been one of the top requested teams. It is time to rebuild the Buffalo Bills. Let's go. And as always, for the algorithm, for my throat, my voice box, that's probably not going to hold up throughout this video too much longer, smash that like button. Leave a comment. Who do you think we should draft? Who do you think is going to be the best player? Take a prediction. Do you think CJ Spiller's going to live up, going to become a new superstar X Factor type running back? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get into year number 1. So for year 1, free agency, nothing too crazy. That's kind of the good thing about like the state of our roster. There's going to be a lot of roster turnover. The team generally is kind of old. So we're going to let a lot of guys just kind of walk. But we're going to get Stevie Johnson. We gave him a 5-year, $91 million contract extension. I think he's going to be a great player for us. And also, I figured, you know, let's keep some of the old linemen. We got Chad Reiner. He's only 26, 75. Could break up into the 80s. So I got him on a 2-year deal. Might have to try to throw an offer at Sean Merriman. He's going to be one of those guys I'm going to wait and see where his sacks, where his production is at season's end. Coming, my God, look at that. Got to respect that 95 power move. But he has to earn that contract extension because, obviously, he's pretty close to his ceiling. So we're here at the end of year 1. Did not go, you know, as expected, but when you're 78, below an 80 overall team, it's kind of crapshoot. 8-9, not the worst starting spot. Take a look at our stats. I think Fitzpatrick did okay. Touchdowns look good. Yards, 14, you know, 4,400 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 picks. That's nothing to scoff at. 35 touchdowns is pretty good for a quarterback that's under an 80 overall. Makes you feel a little bit, well, you know, decent about the scheme. Also, pretty terrified that Fitzpatrick is going to regress this offseason, but here's hoping he does not. We had 1,100 yards, 14 touchdowns for Fred Jackson, 6 and 7 for CJ Spiller. And on the receiving front, love seeing that out of Stevie Johnson, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 9 and 7 Roscoe Parrish, 7 and 4 for CJ Spiller. So Spiller well over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. And I'm gonna guess that he's gonna be probably our lead back next year with Fred Jackson kind of taking more of the veteran role. Nick Burnett, huge year, 133 tackles, 10 TFLs, 6 sacks, 8.5 sacks by Kelsey, 7 sacks from Kyle Williams, 6 sacks, 21 TFLs from Marcell. Dareus, not great production of Sean Merriman. He was kind of the guy whose contract was up in the air. Yeah, we'll get a little bit younger at that spot. I mean, that's going to be a good thing about this rebuild. Pretty much every position, even if we have an established guy, really outside of like safety, we could probably draft him. So we're going to be in BPA for a lot of these early drafts. Jarris Bird tied with Terrence McGee for first an interception on the team with 3. We had the 6 overall offense. MVP went to Matt Ryan. Looking for some Buffalo Bill award winners here. Oh, there we go. Stevie Johnson. I mean, that could bode very well for Stevie Johnson going up to a superstar on an offense that is absolutely lacking right now. And we don't have one guy. I don't think we have one superstar guy on the team. Marcell Dareus, I didn't have. He might have superstar, but let's look. Offensively, I'm going to be optimistic that Stevie Johnson will go up to superstar, but we have nothing there. And defensively, Kyle Williams. Oh, no disrespect. Kyle Williams. So let's sim here, see if we get any depth traits, and then we'll get into our first offseason. Okay, so defensively, Chris Kelsey went from normal to star. Nick Barnett went from normal to star. Both these guys, though, are on the wrong side of 30. They're probably going to regress kind of harshly. But on the offensive side of the ball, not just Stevie Johnson, Fitzmagic went up to a superstar. Let's go. Must have been the top 5 touchdowns. So for our first free agent, we're going to spend a little bit of money. We're not going to go too crazy. I'm not going to lie. I tried getting Anthony Collins. The top bid was just way too much money. And then the bad one, the one that I was like, let's go, man. Let's up the bids here just a little bit, was on the defensive side of the ball. Pass rusher, maybe a little bit underrated by this roster standards. But it was, I don't know why I'm going this way. Michael Bennett, the top bids there are ridiculous. Like, I was offering $50 million, and I was still coming in 4th place. So, this is what we're looking at. First is Jared Gaither, 85, star dev tackle. That'd be a big get. We have Dan Carpenter, who actually spent some time with the Bills, was a good kicker for the Bills. We got Byron Bell, 79, star dev, only 23. We're absolutely going to try to lock that. That guy there could be staple at right tackle for this rebuild. And you know what? Again, maybe underrated. Probably, I don't know if Martellus Bennett was late bloomer, didn't peak till he's 26, 27. But I see a chance of getting some upside here. We're going to lowball it because obviously he's still just a 67. But we have so many holes that I'm not going to be able to draft a new starter more than maybe 2 positions because we have our first 2 picks that we can actually make. So I was like, hey, why not? Maybe we can make Martellus Bennett something here at the tight end spot. First wave, able to get the kicker and 2 new starting tackles just waiting on Marty Source Rex. So we're not going to do this every single draft because for this team, there is so many holes. But looking at where we need to get better, desperately need to bring in another wide receiver. That's going to be one of the top spots we look. We can also look at tight end, even with the signing of Bennett. If the best player available is a tight end, we could do so. Wouldn't eliminate quarterback as well, as Fitzmagic is about to turn 30, and that is most likely going to be a wall in terms of his base overall development. Need a lot here at the pass rush spot. Carrington, Edwards. I mean, Edwards was serviceable, but definitely could use a pass rusher. Definitely could use a corner with more upside. McGee is regressing. Definitely could use a linebacker. Even Barnett, he's 31, 32, going on 32. So again, he's going to be falling in ratings sooner than later. So we literally need everything that we just talked about. All right, I found our pick. I'm going to show everyone that's available, but I know where we're going to be going. Quarterback, Tannehill might be decent. Wide receiver, AJ Jenkins. I mean, we could maybe look at Alshon potentially, but not a strong draft class for wide receiver. On the defense, pass rush standpoint, we'll save that for last. Look at some of the other players. Melvin Ingram's available. We used him in the last rebuild, so I don't really want to rush to that. Some good linebackers, though. Hightower, Bobby Wags is there. Going into the secondary, Drake Kirkpatrick, Janoris Jenkins, both first-round picks projected. They both are going to be probably fairly solid. Jack Rabbit maybe a little bit better, but we need pass rush. Pass rush might be my biggest need. So I was like, oh, no. Quinn Couples, Shea McClellan, that's looking rough. And then I was like, oh, okay. Well, Chandler Jones very much fits the bill for what we're looking for in a pass rusher. Now we need linebackers. We did use Bobby Wagner in the Legion of Boom rebuild. Plus, he's a slight reach at this point. You know, he's not a reach at linebacker that we need. So looking at our draft recap, obviously our first two picks, we have very high expectations. I'll be shocked if not both of them are at least superstar dev, which is what we need, man, when you got to retool the team. This is a big draft. So we'll keep this draft also in hindsight when it comes to future drafts. If we have opportunities to continue to just, pick the cheesy picks, or maybe we go with a little bit more of a redemption pick. We're going to be a little bit more open-minded going to those redemption picks when you have strong drafts like this. Outside of that, we got Stephen Hill, an opportunity here for him. He was a massive height, weight, speed, combine type guy that really got drafted off of his combine. So we get a chance maybe to make something there when you're 6'4" with 95 speed. Outside of that, the rest of the draft wasn't anything special. But Chandler Jones, Levante David, that is S tier. Kind of expensive, not affordable in-house free agency period here. We got Andrew Levitri, who I gave a 4-year contract extension. We got that locked down. He's a terrific left guard. Jairus Byrd, 5-year deal done. Leotis McKelvin, I actually bumped that up to 4 years. That is done. I like Fred Jackson. It's the regression is just absolutely crushing him at this point. So, again, we're going to just 3 guys, not really affordable contracts, decent contracts. We still have plenty of money to spend on the open market if there's good free agents this year. So at the end of year 2, our Madden 13 season, we actually win the division 11-6. We got 3 more wins than what we had in year 1. I guess, when you add Levante David, Chandler Jones, maybe that's 3 wins right there, worth of quality player. Look at the top numbers. Nick Barnett. I like seeing that. Leading tackler in the NFL. Fitzmagic. Solid. I think this is just what we're going to get. The 4,300 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 11 picks. That's pretty damn good. 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns for CJ Spiller as our brand new starter. Very, very happy with that. That's really good production. 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns. Stevie Johnson, Brad Smith went for 1,000. Marty B went for 8 and 9. 700 yards, 4 touchdowns for Stephen Hill. It's a good start to his career. A lot better than in real life. Nick Barnett, the leading tackler in the NFL with 157 tackles, 9 TFLs, 2 sacks, 2 picks. 10.5 sacks, 21 TFLs for Marcell, Dareus, freak. 10 sacks, Kyle Williams, 16 TFLs, 9.5 sacks, Chandler Jones. That is big time production there. Interceptions, we're not having any crazy numbers, but at least, you get the Jairus Byrd, who, as expected, 3 interceptions. And for Levante David, 116 tackles, 2 picks for him in his rookie season. Looking at the yearly awards, MVP went to Arian Foster. Taking a look here for some beloved Bills. What? 2 and 3. Najee good. Crushing it there for the Chiefs. Very surprised. I thought for sure one of those 2 guys, maybe more so Levante David, was going to be a lock for the defensive rookie of the year. But we got our first ever playoff game for this rebuild. As, another reason why the Bills are interesting. Man, never won a Super Bowl, but it's so close. And it's going to have to wait another season as we fall 31-14 to the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are a good team in the sim. Joe Flacco is elite, okay? What more can you say? Not a bad showing from Fitzmagic, just a game that our defense couldn't keep us in it. And at season's end, even though we went, 0-on in the playoffs, not the best. Martellus Bennett went up depth trade. So maybe kind of gambling at him that we can take him to the next level works out fairly well. On the defensive side of the ball, both Chandler Jones and Levante David have superstar devs. We also have a gain dev trait as Nick Barnett goes from star to superstar. Free agency, we had a lot of money, but free agency wasn't even worth talking about. We're going right to the draft where we are looking offensively for a wide receiver, maybe a quarterback, depending on who is there. But I'm not going to disrespect the Fitzmagic like that. I maybe trying to get someone with more upside in our secondary. A lot of just normal devs there. We could look for a pass rusher or maybe even a middle linebacker. So with our first pick here, I was talking about maybe getting into someone with some upside at corner. We have used Dareus Slay. We used him in the very first rebuild. I'm not against reusing players. It's going to happen. But the fact that the player right after him, that's still also a first-round projection, was a very successful NFL corner. I feel a little bit more optimistic selecting Desmond Trufant. Still should be a very good player as we pull a hidden dev trait. And it already sounds like we're kind of cheesing the drafts right away, but I need a wide receiver. Bobby Trees is here out of USC, and we had to just pull the trigger, man. We need a wide receiver, too, outside of Stevie Johnson. So looking at our draft recap, Desmond Trufant off the charts, 77 hidden dev. That is outstanding. In the second round, we got Bobby Trees, 66 hidden dev, and he actually was a second-round pick for the Buffalo Bills. Feels like forever ago that the Bills had like Robert Woods and Sammy Watkins. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I can get Sammy Watkins, I think it's next year, I'll try to do that just to see like a what if the Bills were able to keep on to some of those big name wide receivers. The rest of the draft wasn't anything special. Landry Jones pulling in a garbage rating, the first pick of the computer. What a failure, but I'm happy with Bobby Trees and Desmond Trufant, especially, man, 77 for Trufant's outstanding. We are now here for year 3, aka the 2014 season, and this team needs to take the next step, man. So what we're going to do in terms of changes on the offense, we got Gaither, Levitri, Wood, Reinhardt, and Bell on the O-line. O-line looks good. Bennett continues his development. We got CJ Spiller, one of the most electrifying running backs in the league. Superstar Fitzpatrick, superstar Stevie Johnson. Ready to go hell on. I'm going to put Bobby Trees in the slot. I think that's going to be the best chance for him to hit success in his rookie season. Chandler Jones, I'm expecting big things out of Jones and Levante David going into year 2. We're also going to push the issue with Desmond Trufant. Got to get a 77 hidden dev rookie on the field as soon as possible. I think this is absolutely a playoff team here in year 3. Or even look at contracts. Holy shit. We suck. And for our free agents, pretty easy, pretty obvious in terms of guys we want to bring back. Eric Wood, I'm bringing back Whitner. I'm not in love with the fact that it's a 4-year deal because as soon as he hits 30, he's going to regress. But, you know, like still 31, 32. He should be in the 80s when all said and done. Getting back Brian Mormon for a 1-year, but we are going to move on from Nick Barnett. I'm going to bring back Reinhardt on a 1-year deal, very solid interior lineman, and we're going to let some of the other veterans go off into free agency. And things were not very good here in year 3, aka our Madden 14 season, 5-12. Good news, I guess, is that we were like 1-6, and we finished 5-12, which, you know, momentum, I suppose. And at least it's going to be a decent draft to have a premier pick. Maybe not to find our quarterback, but there are some elite players in this year's draft, and you know, maybe we find a way to get Sammy Watkins. Even though that's not going to be the best use of what our high pick's probably going to be, you know, I might try to do that just to reunite him, Bobby Trees, and kind of put the whole gang back together. But statistically this season, outside of our run defense, and I'd say generally D-line, it wasn't great. Fitzmagic, as much as I wanted him to be an S-tier quarterback, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Spiller was average. Stevie Johnson was good, 1,300 yards, 8 touchdowns. Rest of the group, you know, But again, I think some of it does definitely come down to the quarterback play. Defensively, Nick Barnett had a whole bunch of tackles, 9 sacks for Kyle Williams, 7.5 for Dareus, 5.5 for Chandler Jones. We got to up that. I mean, the Bills' playbooks suck in Madden 22, but that's just, you know, we're gonna make them good because I mean, Fitzpatrick was like top 5 in touchdowns and stuff like that, right? So we can be good. It just wasn't a great roll of the dice. We'll just get a quick look. Michael Vick is the MVP, and Bobby Trees, offensive rookie there. That's pretty cool. And that is it. Let's get into the offseason. As far as dev traits are concerned, Robert Woods is a star dev. On the defensive side, Desmond Trufant is a star dev, but he's up to an 83 overall with the boost. That's outstanding. Nick Barnett, who's about to hit free agency, got X Factor, but much cooler, much more better for the long term of the team, much more better. Great English is Levante David getting his X Factor. And we have so much salary cap, but the free agency market's not really working out. Like we have money for like a big QB, and it's like Tony Romo, and like all these other positions, like not really any upgrades. Outside of the fact like we want to also try to fill these spots, these team needs with draft picks. But something I want to do a little bit. I need 2 linebackers and a pass rusher. There's nothing, so I'm like, why don't we just try to get Taylor Mays, one of the more athletic freak what ifs? Why don't we move him to linebacker? Pass rush and middle linebacker are the 2 positions we're looking for, and Khalil Mack going off the board right before our selection at pick 6 kind of stings. There's some really good players available if we're going like BPA, Mike Evans, Barr, Luan. I mean, Barr, hybrid rusher, I suppose. I don't think I'm really going to classify him as a pass rusher. OBJ, I mean, wide receiver. We don't have a wide receiver 3, but I'd rather, you can figure that out later on. We need pass rush and or a middle linebacker. We got D Ford. Okay, not bad. To Tank Lawrence as well as a first rounder. Obviously, one of these days we're going to get Aaron Donald, but let's be real. We're not going to go there. For middle linebacker, we got Ryan Shazier and CJ Mosley, both pretty good. And obviously with the Shazier and how his career ended, could be a little bit of a you know what? Let's do it. I like the idea of like a what if Ryan Shazier didn't have that horrific injury. He still was a hell of a prospect, looking like the next great Steeler linebacker, and we're able to grab him here. Hidden dev should be a good player for us. And now we need a pass rusher. We have Coney Ely, Scott Crichton. We got double check. I don't know who's maybe an edge classified as like a linebacker here. Kyle Van Noy, nope. Trent Murphy. Sure, that's a human being. Let's go. So very good ratings for the draft. 76 hidden dev for Shazier, 72 for Tank Lawrence. The computer hooked us up some decent players. Terrence Brooks got a 68. Adrian Phillips developed into a good player. He's just normal dev. That's the worst. But again, I think we're probably going to be due for a draft that we knowingly might take a player that could be more of a project. Just when you have the 6th pick, things went as bad as they did for us last year. We still are in very much a stage that we need to acquire more talented players. And that's exactly what we did, getting Shazier, and luckily somehow Tank Lawrence was there with pick 6 of the 2nd round. So this time last year we were actually 1-6. This year we're 6-1. Ryan Fitzpatrick is absolutely dominating. Nothing's going on. It just shows you, man, this game is unpredictable to say the least. But we've somehow inversed our record from a year ago, and I'm not going to overly complain about that. Looking at our contracts, we got CJ Spiller. I think he's been solid, all things considered. I still think he can take his game to the next level. That's not a bad term. Aaron Williams hasn't had any dev trade scenarios pop up yet, so good player. The age is intriguing. That's a lot of money for a normal dev corner. But, I mean, when you look at the fact that we don't really have to re-sign anybody, and if we even enter these contracts negotiations, we still have almost $100 million if you'll take that. So there we go. I think that's okay business in the early window from the Buffalo Bills. Let's hope we can build off this 6-1 record and get ourselves our 2nd divisional title of the rebuild here in year 4. And at the end of year 4, the Bills are back in the playoffs. A very competitive AFC East, but 10-7 gets us into the wild card to take on the Patriots right away. That'll be a sweet victory if we can achieve it. Looking at the top of the leaderboards, not seeing much from our team, but that's fine. Because we got Fitzmagic. I know we got Fitzmagic. We can go on a little bit of run. And drastically better than what he was a year ago. 4,700 yards, 32 touchdowns to 12 picks. Not the best rushing season. Spiller's been a little underwhelming. No other way around it. 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns. Stevie Johnson, 11-8 for Stephen Hill. Bobby Trees just under 1,000. And on the defensive side of the ball, Levante David, 118 tackles. And look, the picks are just starting to come. I'm expecting 4 minimum from him for the remainder of this rebuild. 16 sacks from Marcell Dareus, 13 from Chandler Jones, 10.5 from Kyle Williams, 6 from Tank Lawrence. And the interception, 4 picks there. Ryan Shazier. What's the dev on Shazier? Ooh. Oh, it's a go one. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Him and Levante David, because all the linebacker spots for scheme fits for the Bills are pass coverage, and they're both 2 of those guys right there. Skill set, pass cover linebackers. I'm excited to see what we can build in this linebacker room. Arian Foster is the MVP. We got, Shazier was the runner-up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And, all right, whatever, man. We don't need awards. The only award we need is defeating the Patriots. And moving on here in this playoff run, let's see what we can do. We have a little salad here on the side. Oh, we get the dub. We get the dub, 21-3. Outstanding performance from the defense. Look at that. Oh, imagine. Imagine if the Bills beat the Patriots in the playoffs and Tom Brady has 3 picks. Oh, outstanding. And we're going to the next round. But next up is the juggernaut of the AFC this season, the Houston Texans, led by J.J. Watt. But again, they do not have Fitzmagic. We do. Oh my God, 31-16. Dude, we are 1-6 halfway through the season last year. You control that. 4 touchdowns from Ryan Fitzpatrick. We forced 2 interceptions from Ryan Tannehill. Would love to see Levante David get another one, but it was Whitner and Shazier. This defense is coming through. Now we have the Chargers, the 3 seed. Could the Bills in year 4 make the Super Bowl? We're better. Same records. We're 2 overall points better. Maybe that's going to be the disadvantage because yep. Forgot that in Madden. Usually the better team loses in the fucking sim. So we're going to try to get one big fish here in free agency. Matt Stafford at quarterback looks awesome, but we've already done the Lions rebuild. I don't want to use it this early going back to the Matt Stafford well. Witherspoon looks like a massive upgrade as well, but like that, once you get up to 80, 90, $100 million contract, like I would rather hold on to that money and pay Chandler Jones, for example, when it's time to come up. But I'm going to try to get Pat Robertson here. Was huge, underrated as hell, super underrated for that Eagles Super Bowl run. So I'd love to have him, and he's obviously very good. 27, superstar at 85. Some other big bids on him, though, so I'm not 100% confident that we're going to land him. But if we do, that'd be huge for our secondary. No, P-Rob, no. Guard is our biggest position of need. And here will be our little bit of like a substitution. I'm pretty sure Mitch Morse, who actually is on the Bills right now, I think. I'm pretty sure he has a dev trait. So I'm going to go with someone that might not. And that is Laken Tomlinson, who was like kind of average and then was kind of good as like a late free agency signing for the 49ers. I think he was drafted by the Lions. But either way, we're going to select Laken Tomlinson, a normal dev. Hopefully he has a high rating here for guard because we need a plug-and-play starter at guard this season. But linebacker is really a toss-up between linebacker and wide receiver for where I wanted to go in the second round. And given the fact that took a little bit of a lump on the first round, and also the fact that I would love to see Jordan Hicks paired and develop with, the 2 of the best cover linebackers for a period of time. Obviously, Shazier wasn't as long as Levante David, but Shazier was looking like that next-gen linebacker, and obviously Levante David is an absolute monster. So I want to pair that with Jordan Hicks. Sorry, the Taylor Mays experience didn't really work out. And look at the rest of the draft recap. They actually get a guy that was pretty damn solid for the Buffalo Bills. Not a great rating, but John Feliciano here on the interior of the offensive line. But the rest of the draft kind of sucked. But luckily, Tomlinson 71 is a good rating, and Jordan Hicks has that dev trait to potentially develop him into a very good right outside linebacker. So I look at our roster here as we gear up for year 5, aka our Madden 16 season. Fitzmagic's not regressing too bad. I don't know if that has something to do with the superstar dev or not, but I'm happy with that. CJ Spiller in the 90s club. Might have a chance with Johnson at 99, maybe not. Bobby Tree's up to an 80 overall. Laken Tomlinson, our first round pick, gets the start at right guard on what is a very good elite 4 out of 5 over 90 type offensive line. Defensively, the front 4 is great. Chandler Jones, Dareus, Kyle Williams, and Tank Lawrence. David Shazier and Jordan Hicks, who already has come out as a starter, played a lot of snaps, I guess, during the preseason. Jesus. So that's definitely a linebacking core that if we can keep for the remainder of this rebuild, they're all going to be X factors and 90s. Secondary still, holding on there. The safeties are getting older, but they're still productive in Bird and Whitner. Chufont's developing nicely. McKelvin is kind of peaked. He's at that age right now, but really no one of our starting corners are below an 80 overall. So this is just a very good defense, very good team. And as long as Fitzmagic can play like he did last year, absolutely we can go on a playoff run here in year 5. Free agent this season, very simple. We got to run our high overall lineman into the ground. I always tell you guys to do that in your rebuilds. I do it. Practice what you preach. And then we got Levante David on a 5-year, $75 million deal. I thought it was going to be worse because usually outside linebackers get that like pass rusher, edge rusher price. $75 million is outstanding in this market. I thought about Stephen Hill. He's been simming well, but that's, we could probably do better. So usually year 5 is like a good, consistent, your team plays to their level year. We usually do 5-year rebuilds. And this year 5 was god-awful. 7-10, the rest of the AFC. So, you can look at it like it was an opportunity lost because we're only a game out. 8 wins, 9 wins could have put us in first place, but also with the division being this down, if we just play to our potential, we should have inversed that record. We should have been 10-7, absolute minimum, but here we are, not even making the playoffs. Take a look at the stats. I mean, again, another year that we're going to go in, and if there's a quarterback, I just don't know if this match is going to be guy. Way too inconsistent. He's shown some years he can be the guy, and other years that's just not good enough. 1,000 yards, 13 touchdowns, C.J. Spiller. 12-7, Stevie Johnson. 10 touchdowns, Stephen Hill. 8-4 there for Bobby Trees. Defensively, a lot of tackles, Vontae David. 3 picks as well. 12.5 sacks, Marcell Dareus. 10 and 19 TFLs for Chandler Jones. 20 TFLs, 9 sacks, Kyle Williams. It's a great year. And Bird, Trufant, and Levante David all tied for first in picks. MVP goes to Aaron Rodgers. And just quickly burning through here to see if we have any Buffalo Bills. We do not, but we do see that Derek Anderson's absolutely crushing it with the Chiefs playbook. Gotta go back on it, man. Stephen Hill, even though he doesn't have depth traits or anything like that, he just seems like he's constantly around 1,000 yards, double-digit touchdowns. Can't let that walk. So for free agency this year, our plan is kind of to go after a big fish. I'm looking for a kicker, Kyler Sanders. I actually got to show you this guy's hair. Man, he is like the greatest mullet in Madden history. Is that not the greatest mullet in Madden history? I think it might be. But we also got Vernon Davis here, 91 Superstar X Factor. He is 32, so you're pretty much admitting that you're going to get it, diminishing returns. But we're so desperate for a tight end. Might as well swing for the fences. I'm starting to notice a little bit of a trend. It's like we're not getting a lot of our top tier targets. They're rejecting it. I don't know what it is, man. Don't you want to come play in front of Bills Mafia? So we had a pretty high draft pick this year. Obviously, we weren't very good. We had the 6th overall pick, and we need a quarterback. This is very much to try to go get Carson Wentz. A great opportunity for a what-if. Either one of these guys, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff. But I feel like, stylistically, what do you think of the Buffalo Bills now with Josh Allen? Carson Wentz is more similar to what Josh Allen is than Jared Goff. Like, hell, that was my comp for Josh Allen coming to Wyoming was Carson Wentz. So, it wasn't like a huge jump for us to make, but we pretty much forfeited making any other picks for the remainder of this draft, as I've also attached our 2nd and 3rd round selections to trade up with the Rams to get the number 1 overall pick in this draft. I hope to God that they didn't absolutely nerf Carson Wentz, but that is going to be our guy. Give me just a hidden dev. That's all I need. Hidden dev. Thank you. I can work with that. There is our new franchise, hopefully, quarterback. And outside of Carson Wentz, actually a pretty decent draft. 72 guard here, McGovern in the 4th round. 71 corner, Justin Burst in the 5th. All right, we'll take that. But there is hopefully our new franchise. Pretty low rating. I thought he'd be a little bit higher than a 70, but a lot of work to do. A lot of opportunity for Carson Wentz to develop here in Buffalo. All right, so year 6. Only real change to our team is going to be at quarterback. Why not? Throw him to the Wolves, get Carson Wentz out there. Really missing a legitimate tight end threat, so we're going to need big years out of our wide receivers and maybe C.J. Spiller. Out of the backfield, defense remains pretty much the exact same. Looking to see Jordan Hicks takes the next step up in his game, but still, generally speaking, very, very optimistic that this is going to work out with Carson Wentz here as our QB1. Before we look at the contracts, we are 5-1. 5-1 just by essentially changing our quarterback. And there's no it's not like I'm playing the games or anything like that. This team is just so much better with Carson Wentz under center for some reason. So for our free agents here, pretty much just re-signed everybody. That's the pro of not being overly aggressive in free agency. Or, we've been trying. They're just not signing here. Is that we can keep our own guys. So Dareus, Stevie Johnson, Byron Bell, Chandler Jones, Bobby Trees, Leotis McKelvin, and Kyle Williams all get contract extensions. The biggest of them, I believe, was Chandler Jones because it says suggested 3. I got him for 5 years, well over $100 million. Worth it. At the end of year 6, Carson Wentz is a machine. Unbelievable start, able to maintain. And I thought we didn't make the playoffs. And here we are, 13-4, first place in the AFC East, our 2nd divisional title of the rebuild here in year 6. There's nothing crazy. Outside the fact that Marcus Russell is the leading passer right now, and I'm sure we'll eventually get to play with him. Desmond Trufant, 10 interceptions. Okay. And you look at Carson Wentz, that was a good year. It wasn't like, had an MVP-like season like we do see sometimes with young quarterbacks, but that's a damn fine rookie season. Most likely offensive rookie of the year, 4,700 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 13 picks, 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns for CJ Spiller. We got 13 and 7 for Stevie Johnson, 11 and 14 for Bobby Trees, 3 yards shy of 1,000 yards for Stephen Hill. And, Nicholas was productive. I think getting a tight end could be a massive get for this offense. Defensively, 138 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 picks for Levante David, 14.5 sacks, 20 TFLs for Chandler Jones. He is just starting to heat up. Not a bad year by Tank Lawrence either. 9 sacks, 8.5 for Dareus, 7 for Kyle Williams. But my God, 10 interceptions for Desmond Trufant. That's right up there with like the most picks I've seen in a sim season. That is pretty dope. 5 picks from McKelvin, 3 from Levante David. So this defense forced in 10 of turnovers. Looking at the MVP, went to Ryan Tannehill. That's kind of gross. And checking for our beloved Buffalo Bills, Carson Wentz is Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then for the individual awards, we better have DB of the Year. And it is Desmond Trufant. He's been on a superstar maybe this season. Put it this way, if he gets 10 picks, doesn't go dev trade, we just know just how bad, the upgrade system is here in Madden franchise. And I mean, hopefully that's like near the top of the list of things that I want to see get improved in the new game. And in our opening round, after we get to kick our feet up and let the peasants play in the wild card round, it's time to take on the 9-8 Baltimore Ravens. Last time we made the playoffs, went on a little bit of run, 2 wins before losing. And this year, when we have the most momentum, rookie Carson Wentz, the moment is too big. He was pissing down his leg. Quote Mr. Go 30, and we gotta go to the offseason, gotta get better. Man, that was weird. I was like, man, I didn't think Carson Wentz had a superstar dev. I thought it was star, and then I looked, and they actually gave it to him for winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Dev trait went up for Carson Wentz, so that is absolutely awesome, as I was really only expecting to see Desmond Trufant with his league-leading 10 interceptions take that jump from superstar. But we have Wentz, we have Spiller, we have Bobby Trees, 3 new superstars on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, that's a fucking joke. 10 picks, and Desmond Trufant does not go up dev trait. But Marcell Dareus, who had like 6 sacks, 7 sacks, he goes from star to superstar. Explain this game to me. For free agency this year, I really, really wanted a good tight end to be there. And of course, there is not. So we're going to have to hopefully something falls to us in the draft. But why not bring back a very good current Buffalo Bill at a prime position, Micah Hyde. We have some versatility there, maybe at safety, down that line within this contract. But right now, let's bring him in. Let him come in and compete for that corner 3 spot. And with our first round pick of the draft here at 28, actually a very interesting option to tight end. One I think why not? Let's see. Evan Ingram was a freak of nature. Hype was off the chart after he crushed the combine, and he got that hidden dev. That's another big-time weapon for this offense. I honestly would say, looking at our team, second biggest need would be maybe another wide receiver, which clearly there's a pretty juicy option here. Or I need a D tackle because Kyle Williams is getting pretty old and regressing. Both spots are like very generous. But I actually need D tackles easily far and away now. Our next biggest need after tight end. So let's grab Davin Thompson. Oh, I thought for sure I was hyping him up like he was going to be a hidden dev player. Okay, maybe not. All right, we are in a predicament that we're not going to complain about. This is like the most stacked draft the computer has ever had. So we got Evan Ingram, 78 hidden dev. We got Dalvin Thompson, 76 normal dev. The computer in the third round gave us Alex Anzalone, normal but a high rating. Jamal Agnew is a terrific special teamer with a hidden dev. We got George Kittle, Larry Ogunjobi behind that. George freaking Kittle. That was CPU. And we are absolutely fucking going with this. So as we get for year 7, aka our Madden 18 season, we kind of got ourselves put in a predicament by going Evan Ingram, and then the computer getting us George Kittle, who I can only assume is going to be an X factor, right? So what I've done is taken Evan Ingram, and I've moved him to wide receiver. I mean, a lot of people call him a big wide receiver, or a glorified wide receiver playing tight end. So let's lean into that a little bit. He's going to be a wide receiver for us here in this rebuild. And obviously George Kittle, hopefully he's going to be a monster here as a rookie. So for our free agents this year, I had to make decisions. It was probably the first big year that we couldn't just sign everybody that we want to. So we got Des Trufant coming off a 10 interception season. Got to get him locked down. Levitri short term. Bird, I hate this. Safeties always want 4 years when they're over 30. But I feel like at 87, it's a good starting point. At the regression, at least for 2 to maybe 3 of that 4 years, he should still be like definitely a valuable starter for us. We got Tank Lawrence. I gave him a 5-year, but Dante Hittner We did bring in Micah Hyde, so maybe we can figure that out. Maybe make Micah Hyde a strong safety, move on from Hittner. Obviously, Fitzmagic era with Wentz has kind of come to an end. Kyle Williams, again, need to save a little bit of money there if we can. But his production, I'll tell you what, because he's such a legend, and there's no way there's going to be a guy that would I wish I had $5 million. It's only a 1-year deal. Let's bring back the Bill legend right there. An outstanding year 7 for the Buffalo Bills, just missing out on the divisional title, but I'll take 11-6, especially in these early days of, having Carson Wentz on the offense. So we made the playoffs, which is great. Looking at the league leaders, not seeing anybody outside of Levante David being the tackle leader, but that's fine. You can still have a bunch of guys that are like top 5, top 10. That's exactly what Carson Wentz was. Top 10 in passing yards, top 5 in touchdowns. Let's go. 1,400 yards, 16 touchdowns for CJ Spiller. He's getting better with age. On the receiving front, George Kittle led our team with 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns as a rookie. No X factor. I thought we might be able to pull the X factor there, but superstar is still pretty solid. 1,011 for Stevie Johnson. Just under 1,000 yards there for Bobby Trees. Not bad year from Evan Ingram as well, making that conversion from tight end to wide receiver. Has anyone ever actually done that? I don't know. Top of my head, I don't know. As a tight end, like a guy that's established himself as a tight end, just straight up moved to wide receiver and then absolutely crushed it. I don't know, but hopefully Evan Ingram is the first of many. And Levante David, as you can see, was up there for the league tackle leaders, was all over the place. And a disgusting season, Marcell, Aaron Donald, Dareus. 80 tackles, 20 TFLs, 17 sacks. That's pretty terrifying. Terrence Brooks, wow, the interceptions dropped off. Desmond Trufant got the bag and said, I don't need to get any more picks. Take a look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Jameis Winston. Carson Wentz coming in at number 3. In the AFC, we got... Oof. Oh, man. All right. We got Cairo Santos, kicker of the year. All right. So we got the playoffs here. We got the Bengals. Last year we were 0-1. This year... we were 0-1. And in terms of dev trades for the squad, Marcell Dareus with his freak year is not only a member now of the 99 club, but he is an X factor on the offensive side of the ball. George Kittle as a rookie tight end, getting an X. God damn, let's go. 4 free agents, don't really need anything, but for Rachel Bush, for her, we stand for her. So out of this draft, I would say our needs. I'd go running back. I'd put running back up there just because CJ Spiller is 20. I was going to say 29. He's 31. So, yeah, running back is a need, but obviously not a top 100% need. Our plan is to convert Micah Hyde, which we might as well just do this right now. We're going to make him our strong safety, which I look like he was at 85 overall. So I suppose when you make this move, we are going to need corner 3. So corner 3 and RB2. That's pretty damn good. Even then, man, we brought in Poyer. Might as well let Poyer hit the field there. So we don't have really any screaming needs. The only thing that could come back to bite us in the ass is the fact that I don't know what our impending free agents are going to look like and how that's going to line up with our salary cap. But let's go into this saying running back, corner. Okay, we got Sony Michel. I wish there was a couple more running backs off the board because I would love Nick Chubb here. Okay, Sony Michel, that's not a bad option. Let's take a look here at the corners. We got Mike Hughes. Okay. What do we got at D-tackle? Taven Brown. Okay, there's a lot of bad options, to be completely honest. Oh, you know what? We can go Sony Michel. I won't lose any sleep going Sony Michel here. Hidden dev, let's go. And we'll grab a corner, Duke Dawson. I think we're going to eat this one on the chin here a little bit. But, hey, Florida Gator, let's go. And look at the draft recap. After Sony Michel, the ratings aren't particularly high. We got Mason Rudolph, bad rating. Braxton Barrett, does he have dev? Braxton Barrett looks legit. Hell of a weapon there for the Jets. Should be higher rating. But, all right, Sony Michel, hidden dev. That's the bell of the ball from this draft class. Not great. Looking at our free agents this year, very simple. Ryan Shazier, yes. Gaither, you run your top lineman into the ground. Yes, CJ Spiller, even with Sony Michel now, Spiller is not slowing down. He's holding that value. he hasn't regressed too bad. I still think at the end of this 3 years, he'll be 34, still probably in the 80s. So hopefully by that point, we'll have, Sony Michel overtake him for that RB1 spot. Eric Wood will bring him back. Stephen Hill, that's just more so saving money now. Even though this is the second time we've kind of like not wanted to keep him around, even though he's been perfectly fine. And definitely, honestly, revived his career. It was an absolute bust. And here he's, gone for 1,000 yards, gone for double-digit touchdowns. But, with how the team is shaping up offensively, and we want to get, Evan Ingram more involved. Evan Ingram's in that wide receiver 3 spot. We have Laken Tomlinson re-signed, and I am going to extend Jordan Hicks when I can in Week 9. And at the end of Year 8, a third divisional title for the Buffalo Bills as we finish 11-6. Tied with the Jets. We had the tiebreaker, but apparently we're taking them on in the first round of the playoffs. Get to figure out who the best team is right away. And seeing who they signed to contracts, I think we know morally who the better team is. But let's take a look here at our stats. Things look pretty good. I mean, 11-6, that ain't bad. Carson Wentz, 5th in yards, 6th in touchdowns. That's pretty good. That might be like flirting with maybe a dev trade increase. CJ Spiller, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. Not a whole lot there for Sony Michel. Good God. As far as receiving is concerned, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns. Stevie Johnson, 1,007 for George Kittle. Everything else. Man, bad off year there for Bobby Trees. Defensively, 133 tackles, 13 TFLs, 5 picks for Shazier, 13 sacks for Marcell, Dareus. Man, Chandler Jones kind of sleeping here a little bit. Last couple years since he got the bag. 3 picks, Desmond Trufant. Very quick look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Jonathan Stewart. Looking for our beloved Buffalo Bills. We are not seeing anything, unfortunately. I thought we had a couple good years there. But individual stats don't mean anything. I can win 4 MVPs if I don't get a Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is all it's about here in these rebuilds. This isn't rebuilding the Bills so that my quarterback wins a Heisman. It's rebuilding the Bills so that my 90 overall team goes 0-1. One and done in the playoffs 3 straight years. The Buffalo Cowboys, for God's sakes. Come on, dude. You know what? Should I just sign Nick Foles to fuck with Carson Wentz's head? Nah, I won't do that. But look at the free agents. I want to go get one of my favorite corners in the NFL. One of the best ball hawks of the last decade. Marcus Peters. There's a lot of other big bids on him, but we have the biggest bid of them all. Shout out AC/DC. No one wants to come to Buffalo. It's like if there's like any close bids, I have to overbid by like $5 million. And now I feel how, now I know how the Bills fans felt when Antonio Brown said he would rather retire than go play there. It sucks. All right, we needed a corner. I went Byron Murphy Jr. He was the top corner available. Got the dev trait. Nice. Hey, taking a gander at how we finished the draft. Not bad. We got Jay Sternberger in the second. We got Cody Ford, who actually is a Buffalo Bill. One of the guys, actually, that I really thought was going to be a lot better in the pros than what he was. Ryan Connolly, Cole Holcomb, great linebacker for the football team. Cade Smith, Ryan Finley. Hey, cool. But hey, look at that. Byron Murphy, hidden dev, and a 75 overall. That's sick. It's year 9. This juggernaut team has won 2 playoff games in 9 seasons. So we gotta go, man. We gotta get it in gear. Looking at the offense, nothing in terms of dev traits or anything that really has changed. Let's go. Let's see it, man. Picked up the 5th-year option on Carson Wentz. Ball out. Defensively, looks a teeny bit different. What we are going to do is I do want to bump Byron Murphy up the depth chart here. Want this guy to, get on the field as soon as possible. So we'll go with that. Jordan Hicks went from star to superstar dev. That's awesome. So let's go. How about we make the playoffs first? Let's not throw up a stinker here. It's year 9. Let's be adults, grown up. It's big boy time. And let's win a Super Bowl. So things worked out fairly well because we're not going to have to pay Carson Wentz in this rebuild. So we're going to be able to spend all of our money. And this is our last free agent period of guys we want to make sure. And hey, pretty cool. Levitri will be able to go the full 10 years at left guard. Aaron Williams, I mean, I would sign him if he actually was a notable player for the Bills. Wasn't really. So I'm going to get Cairo Santos. He's a fine kicker. And why not? Let's have Jordan Poyer, finish it out with us here. So the team understands the importance here now that we're in year 9. They smarten up and we get the 1 seed in the AFC, 13-4, our second straight AFC East championship, 4th overall of the rebuild. Looking at the stats, Trufant back up with the picks. All right, 6 picks. Let's see what Carson Wentz did. 4th and 9th. Again, he's been a top 10 quarterback since he came here. and generally closer to 5 than he is to 10. Those are good numbers. 1,010 there for Spiller, 8 touchdowns, Sony Michel. We have 13 and 4 for Bobby Trees, 11 and 7 Stevie Johnson, 9 and 7. Oh man, I was kind of hoping George Kittle could go 1,000 every single year, but that's, you know, really all of our weapons, even including Evan Ingram. 8 this season, 123 tackles. Shazier leads the team, 13 sacks. Dareus, 11 from Chandler Jones, as well as 20 TFL, 6 picks. Des Trufant, 4 for Hyde and Levante. Very quick look at the early awards. MVP goes to Sean Lynch. Okay. That's like an old Marshawn Lynch, too. So congratulations for the longevity there, apparently. But at least we had a first-round bye, so we can't be, you know, well, technically you still be one and done. But at least it's not like we're losing in the first round of the playoffs again. So at least we're going to lose in the second round of the playoffs again. This time, oh, come on. We got to beat the Patriots. We haven't won a playoff game since year 4. In year 4, we went 2-1 the play. We were very close to the Super Bowl. 3 straight 0-1 playoffs, one and dones, whatever you want to call it, and we barely win. 17-14 sets up a matchup against the Bengals. I mean, again, just look at our team though. We're a juggernaut, 92 overall. Are you kidding me? I will say this right now: the only thing that's a bummer is that when you get this late in the rebuilds, it's kind of a death sentence. If we can make the Super Bowl, then we got the Bengals. But the Bengals can beat us. No, but we handle business. 36-14, knocking out the Cincinnati Bengals. The bad news is I'm going to say there's probably 75% chance that if we even super sim, like watch this game play out, I think the thing's going to crash and be corrupt. We won't be able to go year 10. I don't know why, and I'm not going to push it, man. We're just going to keep with the sim, and we'll look at the box score if we have to. Come on, man. Just win. Our first Super Bowl appearance. Fuck! Damn it, man. Come on, Wentz. Of course it's him. Oh, no. We got hit with 2 retirements. No. CJ Spiller and Eric Wood. I was like, why do we have a lot more salary cap? Damn, man. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. Let's try and win you a Super Bowl here in year 10. So for this free agency, I was just hoping someone that would be able to replace CJ Spiller right away. And then you kind of look and it's like, you know, there's guys that are okay, but none of them are like in another area code from Sony Michel. And then we could maybe look at running back as like our top pick for this upcoming draft. Sorry. There was a player that I did want to try to, you know, negotiate in on. A couple of them, actually. One's Thomas Morstead at punter. One's Ryan Khalil. Bring that one-year veteran in. Try to help us win and anchor the center offensive line. And I'm looking at Will Fuller there to be our true D threat, as obviously Stevie Johnson has regressed immensely, and we need that guy that can stretch the field. And at least we got our top 2 big targets, Ryan Khalil and Will Fuller. Let's go. I know the portraits are fucked up. We said we wanted running back. I mean, he's not going to be impactful enough to make the thumbnail. But when you need a running back for 1 year, they could be a lot worse than Jonathan Taylor. Let's just ignore the player portraits. Okay, I see it. You see it. We'll just ignore it. I'll get it correct. We got Matabuke in the second round. John Grenard in the third round. So yeah, pretty solid draft. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor. Let's go. Day 1 starter. This is it, man. Our final roster. This is as good as we can get for them to win, finally, a Super Bowl. We even won a freaking Super Bowl with the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions beat us in the Super Bowl last year to win their Super Bowl in this world. But obviously in the Detroit Lions rebuild, we were able to win a Super Bowl, the impossible. And the next franchise that, like, their fan base just thinks it's unimaginable they can win a Super Bowl is Buffalo. We got it in here in year 10. So we added John Taylor to the running back room. That's the only change offensively. Actually, I take that back. We got Will Fuller. What happened to Stevie Johnson retired? I must be just sleeping at the wheel. And then defensively, Chandler Jones went up to X Factor, but I mean, we can only have so many X Factors enabled. Did I lose a DC? Why are my X Factors not enabled? That's unbelievable. All right, we're going to make sure we can enable that very quickly. But yeah, Chandler Jones up to X Factor. Desmond Trufant up to X Factor. Marcell Dareus has been an absolute god in this rebuild. We have the defense to complement the offense to win a Super Bowl. Let's go do it. And at least they gave us a chance, Bills fans. Our third straight AFC East title, 13-4. I think I've been tracking this stuff, just like writing it down in a binder. I think this is probably the most wins we've had for a team over 10 years. And we've made one Super Bowl and lost it to the freaking Lions. So we got the first round bye this year. Hopefully that helps us a little bit. Let's look at the stats. See who did what. Wentz was pretty good. He had 5,000 passing yards, 31 touchdowns. 9-12 there for Jonathan Taylor, 10 touchdowns, Sony Michel. 13-8 Will Fuller, 12-9 Robert Woods, 12-10 Evan Ingram, George Kittle 800 yards, and then defensively 118 tackles for Ryan Shazier, 13.5 sacks Marcell Dareus. He's been so freaking good. 11 sacks Chandler Jones, 4 for Byron Murphy Jr. But my God, man, we need to show respect for a guy that was good, maybe not great with the Buffalo Bills, but in this rebuild, he's been a Hall of Famer. There's no other way. Congrats. I was like, man, who's gonna make this thumbnail? You know, who wants to earn it? And maybe played for the Bills. And that is a guy that was here as a rookie when we started 10 years ago. Marcell Dareus, absolutely incredible. Quick look at the yearly awards. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP. Jonathan Taylor, Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's pretty cool. For the rest of the awards, no Buffalo. But I mean, we're not big on awards here in Buffalo. We're big on just going 10 years and winning one Super Bowl. That's all we need. We got another poverty franchise. We lost to the Lions, so how fitting would it be after 10 years? We get sent home by the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting to eventually. We handle business 35-21, setting up an AFC Championship game here against the Raiders, who knocked off the 2-seed Titans. And in this matchup, Carson Wentz, because we kind of, that's why they're good. They have Mahomes. But because lasting memory for me anyways of that Super Bowl loss was Wentz playing like absolute dog shit. He started this one out hot, man. Revenge tour, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. All right, let's go, man. We got the Vegas rate. And if we win this one, I'll play the moments, because what's the worst thing that happens? If it crashes after, it's the end of the video, and we get back to the Super Bowl. This time taking on the Atlanta Falcons, a team that I've been looking in the comments. Atlanta's actually getting a lot of shout-outs for me to get to them. And they are very, very good. I want to see actually really quickly who they have to be 91 overall. I don't know if they would still have Matt Ryan at this point. I think I saw him hit free agency. Nope, still got Matt Ryan, X Factor, Jeremy Hill, Julio, Thielen, Kupp, A.J. Brown, 4 deep, Tyler Eifert, Taron Armstead, Malik Jackson, Joey Bosa, Akeem Hicks, Miles Jack, 99 X Factor. Honey Badger, 99 X Factor. They got Kendall Fuller, Darnell Savage, Keanu Neal. My God. Okay. This is going to be very difficult. A very quick, because I'm prepared for this to crash. Very, very quick look and recap of our career so far for these players. Carson Wentz, 24,000 yards, 175 touchdowns to 50 picks is pretty good. Bobby Trees has been at the beginning with 8,000 yards, 51 touchdowns. George Kittle off to an incredibly hot start. Hall of Fame start for George Kittle. On the defensive side, Levante David went over 1,000 tackles in this rebuild, 50 TFLs, 22 picks. Shazier very close to 1,000. On the sacks front, 117 sacks. Marcell Dareus, 88.5 for Chandler Jones. Tank Lawrence, 51. Now the picks front, after that, remember, man, that top freaking interception season, I think 10 picks. Desmond Trufant, I think that was 2-3 years ago. That was insane. 10 picks. So shout out to him for being an absolute baller. But it is now time. And what I think is going to corrupt this file, this will never be seen again. Let's play the moments in the Super Bowl and the battle of the 13 and 4. It's an outstanding matchup. The two best teams in the league. Only one team will remain. And maybe only one rebuild will remain, because this video is about to crash. You might ask C4, are you nervous? Absolutely not. I've never been more a believer of Carson Wentz in my life. And this is starting out like an absolute shootout, and I saw their defense. I know our defense. Our front seven is so much better than theirs. I think if it turns into a shootout, and it's going to be what defense can potentially hold their own, I think I like our defense. They got a couple 99s. Yeah, Honey Badger, sure. Guys like that. Keanu Neal. We got Levante David. We got Marcell Dareus. We got Chandler. We just have a better pass rush, better front seven, better quarterback, better wide receivers outside of Julio Jones. And as you could see at this fairy tale ending, 37-21. I'm sick. If I go much louder, I'm going to start voice cracking and sound like these YouTubers that make way more money, that get way more reviews than I do. I can't do it. I'm trying my best. The voice is hanging on. But this is as excited as this is a 10 out of 10 excited from right now. We have won a Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills. Soak it in while I get a sip of water before I die here. That Ryan can't believe it. Like, oh yeah, I couldn't get to Eifert enough. You know? Things he's never said in his life. Carson Wentz is our Super Bowl MVP. 370 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Of course, it's Carson Wentz, so he probably had one bonehead, terrible interception. But for once, the confetti is blue and red. It is not a Patriots Super Bowl victory. We got Jonathan Taylor. I don't know what he's doing up there. But Bobby Trees, Carson Wentz, Ryan Shazier. I can't even remember what I named that guy. Chan Gailey was their coach. I think I made it Chan Get the Tables. Doesn't even rhyme. Not even clever like Smokables. But it is what it is, man. When you're sick and when you're just popping Tylenol like a pill popping animal, some things sound pretty good in your head and they don't come out the best. But what is the best? And what did come out the best was after 10 long, grueling seasons, the Buffalo Bills are Super Bowl champions. So if it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. Leave a comment if you want to help the old C4 YouTube channel and the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment. What can you comment? What team you want to see next in the rebuilds. I'm always looking just to gauge interest of what, top 5 pool of teams are. And then I'll see, which team scratches my fancy on that day. So keep on keeping on there. Thank you guys very much for the love and support. And I'll see you guys back here in the next one. Thanks for watching and peace out.